Hey makers, I'm Bree from the team here at Minerva with another trend report today. So we are talking today about the boardroom or corporate look. It's been all over the runways this season. I'm calling it corporate chic. It's really about bringing workwear out of the office and into more everyday casual context. So it leans really hard on classically menswear inspired pieces, but then mixes in more casual garments as well. So we'll take a look at the silhouettes, fabrics, colors, and prints central to this trend. And then I have 8 patterns and 7 fabrics to share as some sewing inspiration. Now I'm highlighting 3 indie pattern companies that I think do workwear really well with pieces that you can definitely sew some smart office wear with or incorporate into your everyday wardrobe to create cool, unique looks that definitely fall into that corporate chic trend. Now, along with the patterns, I have some classic and beautiful fabrics to share. I will link everything below so you can check out all of the product details. Before we get into the project inspiration, I wanted to share a bit about how I analyze a trend from the runway or what I see in the high street shops, and then work that into my sewing practice. So usually when I start to see a theme coming up, I like to group things first by garment type, fabrication, and styling. So within the garment type category, I'm usually looking at silhouettes, general fit, and construction details. For fabrication, I'm first looking at how these garments are moving to kind of loosely determine what fibers we're looking at. Now, obviously in a shop, you can just check the label, but when we're looking at still runway images, it's very helpful to know how fabrics move. So if we're looking at a crisp structure, fabrics that hold pointed collars or pressed pleats really well would probably suggest cotton or linen fibers, and then fabrics that swish or move around more freely are more likely to be made from silk, viscose, or tencel. With a feel for the type of fabric, then it's time to look into colors and prints. And then lastly, I look at styling. So styling is how the garment is worn. So is it paired with something that is similar or contrasting items? Are accessories understated, or do they play a really big part in the look? So I think this is a very effective way to break down a look into manageable pieces that can fit into a sewing practice. So once you know the garment type and general fit, you can start looking for patterns with similar shapes or construction details. When you know what kind of fabric to look for, you can start looking for something to recreate the look. Now, one of my favorite things about our website is that you can use the filters on the left-hand side to get very specific about the kinds of fabrics and patterns you're looking for. So for example, I almost always click the indie subcategory when browsing patterns because I just love indie patterns. And then I will even use the filter for what type I'm looking for, a top, a dress, trousers, etc. And then for fabrics, it's the same. I can choose a fabric type, fiber content, color, and even print type. I think it is such a helpful feature when you're looking for something specific. So diving into the corporate chic trend, the elements of garment type, fabrication, color, print, and styling are all pretty specific, which makes it great for recreating. Now, our garment types are pretty narrowed down to traditional workwear pieces, so classic trousers, pencil skirts, blazers, shirts, and blouses. Overall, we have very simplistic, minimalistic construction details. We're looking for sleek, clean lines. For fabrics, it's no wonder that suitings are the most popular for trousers, skirts, and jackets. And then keeping with that suiting tradition, we're looking at really muted, dark colors. And then styling is where things get a little more dramatic. We're looking at a lot of contrast. So we're pairing these classic workwear pieces with casual wardrobe basics to really shake things up. So think tees and trainers. I think it makes this trend not only very dynamic, but also really accessible. You don't have to have a whole closet full of traditional workwear to create some really fun, unique looks. Now, the other thing that is a little bit different here is we have a lot of flexibility in garment fit. So we're seeing just as many oversized blazers, really loose trousers, as we are on the other side of things where stuff is really tightly tailored, very fitted. So there's a lot of flexibility in that aspect, which I think gives a little bit more room for personal preference. So that's really great. So with all of these observations in mind, I went and did some pattern and fabric digging, and now I am really excited to share my sewing inspiration with you. The first couple patterns I want to highlight are from Cashmerette. So I have picked a blazer, a pair of trousers, and a shirt. Now we can think of these as our very classic workwear foundation pieces. So you could wear them together, that would be great for the office, but mixing in other styles is really where this look is elevated and kind of fits that corporate chic vibe. So first we have a suit, and that is going to be using the Cashmerette Auburn blazer and the Miriam trousers. The Auburn is a menswear inspired lined blazer with princess seams, a notched collar, optional welt pockets. Now you can go with the classic hip length, or you can crop it at the top of the hip for a more modern version. This comes in Cashmerette's original size ranging, so it's the 12 to 32, and that covers hips starting at 42 inches up to 62 inches. It has 3 bust sizes and a separate pattern piece for standard or full bicep sleeves. Cashmerette rates this one as an intermediate pattern, so there are quite a few tailoring techniques as well as some special notions. So the Auburn blazer can be made up in both stretch and non-stretch woven fabrics. So you'll want to look for mid to heavyweight fabrics like suiting, tweed, and light coating. Stretch suiting or stable pontes are also really good options for an Auburn with like a little bit more give. Now, you do want to remember that if you go for a non-stretch outer fabric, be sure to pick a non-stretch lining. But if your main fabric has some stretch to it, you'll want to go for a knit lining for the body and then use a regular woven lining for the sleeve. For the trousers, Cashmerette's Miriam is a really good option. They have all the features that we love in a classic trouser pattern, so a zip fly, front slash pockets, it's got straight legs with optional back welt pockets, and then it has something that I think is so special. So hidden in the waistband is an extender, and that can move with your waist up to 4 inches. So if you're someone like me, that when I sit, like my waist extends, and then like it's not going to be all baggy when you stand up again. It'll cinch right back in to move with you as you stand and move around. It's a really sleek and streamlined look, but then offers lots of flexibility. So Miriam comes in Cashmerette's full 0 to 32 size range. So the 0 to 16 envelope is for hips 35 to 46 inches, and then the 12 to 32 range is for hips 42 to 62 inches. Now, there are some differences in the proportions if you fall into those crossover sizes, so be sure to check out the sizing details. Both size ranges do offer a full seat adjustment already built into the pattern, so you have 2 options there. Now the Miriam trousers do come with a standard waistband as well as the flex system, so it is suitable for an advanced beginner if you skip the flexi waistband. If you do go that route, it is more of an advanced pattern. Fabric recommendations include wool or polyester suitings, and linen is a really good option too for a more summery pair of Miriam trousers. For the Auburn Miriam suit, I have chosen a really lush pinstripe suiting. So this is the Minerva Core Range stretch woven gabardine twill. Now this is 62% polyester, 32% viscose, and 6% elastane. It has about 10% horizontal stretch, so that makes it really great for patterns designed for woven fabrics, but you want like just a little bit of extra give for it. Now it comes in black, light gray, and this navy. Now the twill weave is really interesting. I love how it like intersects with the pinstripe lines. It kind of breaks it up a little bit. It's a super small detail, but I think it offers a lot of dimension. It has such gorgeous movement, and I really love it. It's perfect for dresses and blazers, skirts, and trousers. Now, I really love the idea of a matching suit with the Auburn blazer and the Miriam trousers in this. I think it would be so classy, like worn together, but you could break it up with like a graphic tee or some chunky sandals and an oversized bag for that on-trend corporate-inspired look. The next garment I have to share was all over the runway this season. We have seen just so many cool stylings of the basic white button front blouse. So this is definitely one that works nicely into the corporate chic trend, but there's lots of other styling possibilities for it as well. So for this, I have chosen the Cashmerette Vernon shirt. The Vernon has a really nice versatile shape. So the bodice It's like fitted through the shoulders, but then a little more relaxed through the body. It has bust darts and a back yoke with a single pleat for the shaping. And then there's options for a simpler silhouette with a standard collar, a straight sleeve, and a little thin wrist cuff. Or you can get fancy with a statement collar, a concealed button placket, lantern sleeves, and then a deep feature cuff. So like the Miriam trousers, the Vernon comes in the full size range. So the 0 to 16 is in one envelope and the 12 to 32 are in another. It's rated intermediate, so collars and cuffs tend to take a lot of accuracy in sewing, but the actual construction methods are pretty straightforward. So you'll want to look for light to medium weight woven fabrics with a good amount of body for the Vernon. So crisp wovens like lightweight linen, cottons like lawn, shirting, poplin, and chambray are going to be really great. You've got to hold those nice crisp corners and the cuffs and the placket. So those are going to work really well. In going for that classic white button front shirt, I have this medium 100% cotton poplin. This is from the Minerva core range and it comes in 24 beautiful colors. But again, I really wanted that super crisp white blouse. And I think this is a very great choice for a shirting fabric. It is so nice and crisp. It's gonna hold those neat details really well. So the points of the collar, the fold of the placket. So I think it would be really fun to mix and match the features of the Vernon in this poplin. So you could go for that big oversized collar leaning into the corporate trend, do the hidden button placket to keep it really nice and clean, very streamlined, and then go for the simple sleeves. I think that would create a really nice elevated wardrobe piece that you could wear in lots of different ways. You could wear it buttoned up with jeans, you could layer it over a cami and like some cargo pants to mix it up a little bit. I just think a white cotton poplin Vernon shirt would be so versatile. The next group of patterns are from a small indie brand called Michelle Sews. They're relatively new to the sewing scene and there's only 3 patterns to the collection so far, but all 3 are so good. We have the Tia blouse, the Agnes skirt, and the Effie shirt dress. They go really well together. The focus here is on modern workwear, so these patterns are perfect for adapting to the corporate chic trend. First up is the Tia blouse. It is a woven blouse that comes with a casual short sleeve woven tee kind of view, or it also has a dramatic bishop sleeve option. The fit is fairly loose through the body, but there are bust darts for shaping. It has a round neck and a clean facing with a back slit at the neck, as well as a hook and eye closure. Michelle Sews patterns come in sizes UK 6 to 30, and that is split over 2 size ranges. So the 6 to 20 range covers hips measuring 34 to 48 inches, and then the 16 to 30 range covers hips 45 to 59 inches, and that one is drafted for a fuller figure as well. It's an advanced beginner pattern. The short sleeve view is really nice and simple, and then the long sleeve bishop's version is a really good skill builder, especially for sewing the cuffs and getting that nice gathering in there. Most lightweight woven fabrics are going to work well for the Tia blouse. Just keep in mind that slippery, slinky fabrics like viscose or silk are probably going to be trickier to sew, but will give that nice ethereal, flowy look. And then something more like cotton lawn or lightweight linen, it'll be a bit easier to work with and will give a little more structure and volume to the top. For the Tia blouse, I've selected our Minerva core range Charmeuse Silky Satin. Now this is the wine colorway, but it comes in lots of other colors, I think almost 20. Now I really love jewel tones for the corporate trend. I think it is so pretty. Now this Charmeuse is 100% polyester and it just feels so smooth. It is like it's like holding water. It is so drapey and so beautiful. Now it does want to move around a lot, so I would consider using some spray starch on the wrong side of the fabric before you cut out, just to kind of stabilize it a little bit. It is really lightweight. It is so perfect for like camisoles or blouses like the Tia. I think it would be very glamorous done up in just that like simple t-shirt version. You could balance it with like some more workwear, or you could go for the more formal bishop sleeve view and then balance it out with like some wide leg jeans and some platform boots. I think that could be a really fun way to play up the corporate chic trend with this one. Next up in the Michelle Sew's workwear collection is the Agnes skirt. So this is a super chic pencil skirt. It's got the classic lines as well as beautiful finishing details. So it's got a bias bound inner waistband, it has a zip shield and a lined vent. There's darts at the front and the back for shaping, and you can also opt for slash pockets at the front. Agnes is an intermediate pattern. If you've never sewn a lined kick pleat before, it can take a little bit of practice to get your head around, but the finish is so worth it, so clean. Now, recommended fabrics include medium weight wovens like suitings, cotton sateen, linen, velvet, and lightweight coating. To make a classic pencil skirt, I have one of our Minerva Core range polyester viscose suitings. So this fabric comes in so many different colors and patterns. I have gone for the large houndstooth. This one is 65% polyester and 35% viscose. The hand is super soft and smooth, but it still has a lot of cool dimension from that houndstooth weave. And I really love the scale of this one. I think it feels still like very understated and demure, but it has a good amount of definition as well. So it is on the lighter side of a medium weight, and it's got really great drape. This is going to be so good for like lined jackets, dresses, and then skirts like the Agnes pencil skirt. It would be so beautiful dressed up for an occasion with like a silky cami and some heels. But then for the corporate trend, I think you could dress it down with like a tucked in jumper and some trainers. Would be really, really cute. The last Michelle Sew's pattern is the Effie shirt dress. This one has been on my list for ages. The Effie features classic shirt dress elements mixed with kind of a more contemporary silhouette. So it's fitted through the shoulder and has a back yoke with a single box pleat. The front is shaped with bust darts, and you can bring it in at the waist with an optional fabric belt. There are options for patch pockets or inseam pockets. Now the feature that I really love is the concealed button placket down the front. And then there's also instructions for doing a contrast fabric all along the collar and the button placket, which I think is such a cool look. So like many shirts and shirt dresses, the Effie is rated intermediate. And then because of the straight cut, your fabric choice is going to play a really big role in the final look. So most light to medium weight wovens will work, but like a stiff poplin is going to look really different than like a flowy challis. Now, if you're newer to shirt making, I would definitely start with a cotton or a linen since they're a little bit more stable. They'll press really well and kind of stay in the shape that you want. But if you're looking for that soft fluidity, definitely you can go for something like a viscose or a tencel. For the Effie shirt dress, I have picked one of my favorite fabric types. It is a solid color with a really unique texture. So this is the Meat Milk Saba Sheer Tencel Viscose. This one is 56% tencel and 44% viscose. Now this is the lapis colorway, which I think is so gorgeous. I love this color. I think it very gently walks the line of being very unique, but like not too out there for the office either. It's kind of like a jewel tone adjacent. I think it's just really gorgeous. It looks so good on so many different skin tones. And so the weave is a semi-sheer check. It's got a little bit of sheen to it from the tencel. It's got gorgeous drape, but then that tencel also gives it a little bit of body and kind of a steadier hand to it. Now, as it says in the name, it is a sheer fabric, so you may consider lining it or layering it over a slip or a vest. I think it is so great for blouses, skirts, and dresses, and yeah, would just make such a pretty Effie shirt dress. I think it would be really great because I like the way that you could play with the sheerness. Along the collar and the button placket, it's going to be a bit like layered, so it'll be darker and you'll get those really nice like contrast points at the hem, the collar, and the placket. I think it would be so pretty, and you could, yeah, style it up, style it down. It would be such a versatile piece in your wardrobe. The last pattern company I wanted to highlight for this workwear / corporate trend is Liesl & Co. Now they have so many beautiful patterns. They have a really great collection ranging from wardrobe basics to really smart office wear. Now, I did settle on just 2 of them. Now, they can be mixed and matched together or worn in with other pieces. So I have chosen the Rush Hour blouse and dress and the Garibaldi skirt. So starting with the Rush Hour, it is a peplum blouse and sheath dress. It's got some really nice features and gorgeous finishing details. So it's a close-fitting bodice with a center back zip, and it's shaped with Dior darts. And these are my favorite in terms of bust shaping. The Dior dart is basically like a miniature dart at the center front, and it's fitted inside a princess seam. So this is really great because you kind of get the best of both worlds between princess seams and darts. It's really easy to sew, and you get really great opportunity to dial in the fit here. Now you can decide if you want sleeveless, short sleeves, or full length sleeves. The dress features a straight skirt with princess seams and has a lined kick pleat. The blouse view has a crossover asymmetrical peplum, which is super cute. Printed Liesl & Co patterns come in sizes 0 to 20, which covers hips 35 to 48.5 inches. And it also has separate pattern pieces for different bust options to really help you get a good fit. Now, the Rush Hour is rated 3 out of 4 in terms of difficulty. The silhouette is super simple, but the aim of this pattern is to really help you get a great fit and level up your finishing techniques. So there's some couture style techniques in here as well. Recommended fabrics include cotton lawn, chambray, linen, crepe, and suiting. So I have chosen a really timeless Atelier Brunette viscose crepe. So this one is 100% viscose. This warm, it's kind of like a pinky beige color, is called Maple. It is one of the 20 colors in Atelier Brunette's rotating color collection. And I really love this fabric. I just think the crepe gives it a really lovely dimension. There's even like a little bit of a sheen to it. It is really light. It's almost sheer, not quite, but that works totally fine for the Rush Hour blouse and dress since everything is fully lined anyway. Now, I will say that viscose crepe does have a tendency to move around. So if you're sewing something fitted, I would go ahead and take the time to starch the back of the fabric just to steady it out, and definitely don't skip the stay stitching. The fabric might be kind of on the high maintenance end of things, but I think the end result would be totally worth it. It would be so gorgeous made up as a blouse into dresses and jumpsuits. I think this as the Rush Hour dress would be such a timeless and versatile garment. Definitely like a power piece for the office, but you could also slip on like an oversized blazer and a ball cap just to give it some of that like styling contrast for the corporate chic trend. The last pattern is the Liesl & Co. Garibaldi skirt. This is another very simple shape that is so effective. So the A-line shape is a little bit more relaxed than a pencil skirt, but it still has that very smart feel to it. So it comes in 3 lengths. You can have a midi, knee length, or midi skirt, and you can choose between having a full waistband or a simple hidden waist facing depending on your fabric and the look that you're going for. There's also optional slash pockets, and it closes with a concealed zip at the side. It's a really great one for your pattern stash because it is very versatile and can look so different made up in different fabrics. It is an advanced beginner pattern, so Liesl & Co.'s instructions are really great, super detailed. Depending on your fabric, it could be a really great first garment project for someone that is new to sewing. So most light to medium weight wovens will work really nicely for the Garibaldi skirt. Structured fabrics like denim or linen or twill will hold that A-line skirt shape really nicely, whereas like drapey fabrics, viscose, crepe, and tencel will have kind of more of that like slip skirt feel, especially if you skip the pockets and opt for the waist facing. Leaning into the workwear vibes, I have picked a really gorgeous wool. So this is our deluxe 100% wool crepe. It's from the Minerva Core range, and this is the color bottle green. So unlike a wool suiting or a coating, this wool crepe is a really nice mid-weight. It's very drapey, but has a good steady hand to it as well. I would say it has a bit more texture than like a poly crepe, but it is like not scratchy at all. I tend to be really sensitive to wool generally, but I just like, I could wrap myself up in this fabric. If you happen to be wool sensitive as well, I can definitely recommend our swatch service. So you can get, you can order just a small strip of the fabric to see how it feels on your skin. Now, this one is so, so soft. I think it would be so gorgeous for the longer, softer version of the Garibaldi skirt. I love an angled pocket, but I think for the like slip skirt vibe, to leave them off this time would be the way to go. You could style it with kind of like more classically with a camisole or a pretty blouse. But I think for the corporate chic trend, it would be really fun for like a graphic or like a cropped t-shirt and some chunky boots, like an oversized bag would look super, super chic and yeah, just so beautiful as the Garibaldi skirt. So those are my project picks for sewing up the corporate chic trend. I chose a few classic workwear patterns as well as fabrics that are really great for creating kind of an outfit foundation to play around with. The corporate chic trend is very playful. It's all about styling these boardroom basics with kind of more like unlikely wardrobe pieces, as well as really fun accessories. So I love trends like this that ask us to reframe what is in our wardrobe on our sewing table and just look at garments with a bit more curiosity. So I hope you're feeling excited to play around in your own wardrobe and get to sewing up some fresh new pieces this season. Let us know in the comments below your favorite workwear inspired pattern and if you have any plans to incorporate this cool trend. And of course, you can always let us know if you have any questions or if you'd like a fabric or pattern recommendation. We would love to help. We love to chat like all things sewing with you. So definitely let us know. Be sure you're following too here on Minerva and subscribed on YouTube. We've got so much fun sewing content coming your way all the time. So until next time, happy making, guys.